This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
It's September 5th, and you took on Mike Jackson, defeating him with the spine buster, my friend. And after the match, Schiavone interviews you and Tully and JJ at the desk. Let's kick this show off this week with a fun little clip from that taping. Here we go.
And then this combination of Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, two great wins right here on television on the Super Series.
You know, Tony Schiavone, I was out there mopping the mat with that newcomer that wants to make himself something in professional wrestling. All these people over here screaming, "Where's your belt? Nikita does it better." Well, I guess he does, you know. Nikita Koloff, Barry Windham slips him a foreign object bolt, knocks me out first time in my life. He does it better than I do. He cheats better than I do. But, you know, I'm not going to stand up here like everybody else and talk about spilt milk. Nikita Koloff, you're one up on me. That's all I'm going to say about it. But, you know, when you talk about being one up on Tully Blanchard or any one of the Four Horsemen, you go ask the other half of the superpowers, Dusty Rhodes, what it's like to be one up on Tully Blanchard. And how long did he actually stay one up before I got even? Nikita Koloff, you think I'm going to take this laying down, and I'm not going to have my championship back. My friend, you are sadly mistaken. A word of advice, go to bed, sleep with it at night. Hold on to it real tight, because Nikita Koloff, it's not going to be around your waist very, very long, because I am destined to go down in the record books as the greatest world television champion of all time. And with this man right here, who you saw take a great grappler, Mike Jackson, and give him that big belly-to-belly smash. 1, 2, 3 on national television. He and I are going to be, because we say so, the world's tag team champion. You ever heard of a warm-up? You ever heard of sparring? Sparring's not going for the knockout right away. Mike Jackson, what I did with you was have a warm-up. You see, you're the same size, the same speed, same thinking as the Rock and Roll Express. Duck this, over this, under this. You're elusive, you're quick. So what I did was set my mind thinking of Gibson Morton, and I took my spot out on you. Rock and Roll, there's not a man on God's green earth that knows more about wrestling, tag team style, than Anderson. Check the record book. 7 long years Anderson's held the World Tag Team titles. For Rock and Roll in a cage, whether it's Greensboro or wherever. Remember one thing. The tag team wrestling scene will be part of the Four Horsemen's reign, and I said it because I'm an horseman. Stack it up right here. Yeah! The consummate wrestling act on the continent today. Woo! Yeah.
There they are, the Four Horsemen.
You're a pleasure.
Thank you. There they are, the Four Horsemen, and we'll be back right after this.
It's been your pleasure, Schiavone. That's going to be my theme of this show. So a few things here. First of all, as Conrad would say, a lot to unpack. First of all, that Carolina blue Horseman jacket, that was sharp.
Shameless plug. Something tells me we were gifted those probably that particular day.
So that's a gorgeous looking coat. Now, you're talking about Mike Jackson, who you just whipped his tail in the ring. He's an enhancement talent. He's still around. I think Mike Jackson still wrestles to this day, which is incredible.
You're right, he does.
I just saw him at WrestleCade. But in this promo, you compared him to the members of the Rock and Roll Express, and you successfully put him, rock and roll, and yourself all over in just that one promo. Is this something that's lost in the modern era of wrestling? I mean, there aren't traditional, enhancement matches, but what I mean is going out of your way to make the opponent look strong. In this case, you did that.
Well, if you took a talented guy out there and you just ate him up, no one knew he was talented. So who did you beat? You didn't beat anybody.
Right.
But if you made this guy not only look like he belonged on our television show, but as a part of the business in general, then it was a much bigger win. And Mike Jackson, to this day, who I believe is 70 years old, still drop kicks, still leapfrogs, can still wrestle. And at that time, the guy was very, very talented. So it just made sense. I was always a big proponent of, if warranted, if you had an opponent that just was not necessarily positioned to be a top guy or even a middle guy, but an underneath guy with talent, and if you didn't recognize that, I think you cheated yourself out of beating a bigger opponent.
Well, Arn, you had Flair and Luger. They joined at the end of the promo. Didn't necessarily add anything to this particular one, but the images of the various incarnations of the Horsemen at that desk are ingrained in all our memories. Would this be the reason to get the shot of the whole faction together at that desk? Do you think that was kind of the reason there?
We always said this, but not every week, but periodically, just to remind everybody, it was the Horsemen in this era against everybody. Good guys, bad guys. We felt that it was us against the rest of the guys in the company, because if you were in an angle with a Horseman, you got to win over a Horseman. That was as big as it got. We talked about beating the Road Warriors last week on that show, what a huge deal it was. Well, if you caught if you were a guy, if you say we were Jimmy Garvin, and then some arenas, some nights, Jimmy Garvin would have been a heel, some he would have been a babyface. But if he caught a win over a Tully Blanchard or a Lex Luger or an Arn Anderson, that was huge. So, we always said it was us against everybody else, and that was kind of the theme.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.